3 people are shot, another grazed near a high school in North Portland, and the shooter still on the loose this afternoon. Here are the facts. It happened about noon outside Rosemary Anderson High School.
Police say there was a fight around the corner from the school. We know the high school age victims, the ages 16, 17, and 20, they all ran inside the high school for help. Now, the 2 males and a female, the victims, were rushed to Legacy Emanuel with gunshot wounds. One is in critical condition. The 2 others are listed as serious. Parents
were told to pick up students at the Jefferson Track and Field. While police searched the high school, they have since given the all clear to and lifted any nearby lockdowns at other schools. Now the police gang team is involved in this investigation. And take a look at where all of this happened. The school is just off I-5 on North Killingsworth. There are 4 other schools just blocks away from the shooting scene. And we do have live team coverage on this situation, but a press conference on it actually just wrapped up with police, giving us a better idea of what really played out this afternoon.
Preliminarily, we learned from witnesses that there may have been a dispute outside the school on the corner of Killingsworth Court and Borthwick that led up to the shooting. We are still trying to get to the bottom of that to determine what that dispute was about, how serious that dispute was leading up to today.
Again, that was a press conference from Portland Police giving us a better sense of what happened.
Just wrapped up a few minutes ago, and now our team coverage continues with Brent Weisberg, who talked with family members of one of the victims.
When this shooting happened, everyone stopped what they were doing, including a 17-year-old girl who goes to Rosemary Anderson High School. She says she looked up. That is when she saw her cousin, who had been shot.
I saw him stumbling in the school, holding his stomach.
Queenie Hillman is a junior at Rosemary Anderson High School. Around 12:30, she was about to head off campus to grab some lunch when suddenly her Friday afternoon was shattered by a shooting.
All of us was heading out the door, and all of a sudden we heard bop, bop.
They thought someone had dropped something in the kitchen.
And all of a sudden, a girl comes in talking about, he got shot. He got shot.
I just dropped my bag and then I ran for my life.
Teachers at the high school immediately pushed everyone back into the building and locked the doors. But at that very moment, Queenie says her cousin ran into the school. He had been shot in the stomach, she says.
He looked like he was in pain.
She tried desperately to get to him, but the teacher said no, it was too dangerous. No one knew where the shooter was.
My friend had to pull me back too. I was like, no, because that's my cousin.
Portland's Mayor Charlie Hales dropped what he was doing at City Hall and came to the school to reassure parents and this community.
We will pursue whoever did this. We will put them in jail and we'll get them to trial, and that there are consequences for violence.
Reporting in North Portland, I'm Brent Weisberg, KOIN 6 News.
So Brent was right on the scene moments after that happened.
Let's go now to our Tim Becker. He's live out there on scene still. And Tim, you spoke to several witnesses there.
Yeah, we did. And I want to show you, first of all, where I'm standing. This area just cleared out. The police were here earlier. There was a heavy police presence. This whole area was strictly out of bounds to the media and everyone else. The shootings occurred right over here in this area, just in front of Rosemary Anderson High School. Now, the police interviewed a lot of witnesses behind this police tape when we were down here earlier to get a lot of the facts that you are now hearing. We found someone who saw what happened a split second after the guns went off.
Right here, and we got to see these guys. I'm like, what the hell is this? No, we saw 3 young men, and we only saw 1 gun.
Lynn Black and Linda Sharp shared their story with us after telling the same thing to police just feet from where the shooting happened. They were outside of Rosemary Anderson School when gunshots turned their heads and they caught sight of 3 young men.
I said, oh no, he has a gun. She was like, oh no, he don't have. I said, yes, look. And by then, they were right at that pole because they came here and ran that way, and he stuck that gun down in his back. And I just thought that that was just kind of awful that it happened so fast. They was tucking him. So you saw the shooting? Really?
Maya Lemon was inside of the school when the shooting happened. The junior student tells us she had just started to eat lunch.
We heard 4 gunshots, and my friend Taylor, she came screaming and running into the cafeteria, and she was holding her stomach, and she was bleeding and just screaming she got shot.
She tells us teachers rushed all the students into a safe room. Meantime, back outside, police quickly arrived, secured the area, and began piecing together what happened with help from people like Lynn and Linda, who caught a glimpse of the shooters.
They were running like in a row. The last one that we saw running had the gun, and I saw him put the actual gun in his bag of his pants.
Now, that last witness you just heard from there, her name is Lynn Black. She's from Tupelo, Mississippi, and she tells us that the police were here in an instant, in just a couple of minutes. She has sort of an outside perspective on the whole situation, and mentioned that the police here being Johnny on the spot, we really have something to be proud of around here. For now, that's what we have. We'll toss it back to you.
Okay, Tim, thank you for that. In the meantime, those 3 victims are recovering at a hospital, and that's where a lot of family and friends have been gathering, too.
Also there, Joel Iwanaga live at Legacy Emmanuel with details on the condition of the victims. Joel, what can you tell us?
Well, certainly a lot of concern here at the hospital this afternoon. I've just learned the conditions of the 3 victims. So the most concerning is the 16-year-old girl. I've been told that she is in critical condition, and 2 males, a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old, listed in serious condition here at Legacy Emmanuel Medical Center. Take a look right now. As soon as word spread that the victims were being brought here to Legacy Emmanuel, the ER, dozens of friends and family, they converged just outside here for a prayer vigil. Quite an emotional scene here at the hospital. Lots of tears, plenty of hugs, and of course concern for the 3 victims. Now, I spoke with a family friend who says that all 3 were conscious and speaking at the time with doctors. Certainly bright news there. Of course, they're praying all 3 will make a full recovery.
Everyone is going to be okay, and that's physically. In these events, I'm not quite sure. I've never had the experience being shot myself, but I would venture to say that it's going to be very emotionally traumatic in recovery, as well as to live with it for the rest of their lives.
Tight. We've seen a number of Portland police cars parked outside the ER. Even Police Chief Mike Reese stopping by for a few minutes this afternoon. Back live outside Legacy Emmanuel ER here this afternoon. Once again, an emotional scene here as friends and family continue to gather outside the ER this afternoon. Reporting live here in North Portland, I'm Joel Iwanaga, KOIN 6 News. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, Joel, we'll keep everyone updated on the victims' conditions. Rosemary Anderson is an alternative high school in the Portland School District. This is where the shooting occurred, right near the high school. It's a place for at-risk kids who've been expelled or have dropped out. There are 216 students enrolled there, and that's according to Portland Public Schools. It also serves the Centennial and Gresham Barlow school districts. A lot of unanswered questions still. Stay with KOIN 6 for the very latest on the shooting investigation, and we will update you as soon as we get new information, and always on KOIN.com 24/7.